Fellow wolves, what's going on? So it's your boy, the Badwolf. What are all the files? Okay, so I keep getting this one. People are asking, you've got some files listed here. Do I need them? Do I need all of them? What are they? Okay, so this is going to be the file breakdown video. Um, no, you don't need all of them. It just depends on what you need, or how you want to move forward, in the living in the private. And it's really up to you. I mean, do you need all of them? No. Do I have some people who buy the whole rip? Yep. Do I give them a discount? Yep. Do I have some people who just buy one file? Yep. Or come back and later on get another one? Yeah. Some people just ask for a little bit of consultation to make their own, which is good too. Some people make their own and then they will buy mine and then mix the two. So it's mix and match. Whatever you need, um, this is what it is. So some of these you can find other places for a lot more, which is why I keep my prices pretty low. Um, some people were like, well, some people were like, make them more expensive, and some people were like, make them cheaper. So look, this is on the low end, and they're all good, fair prices. So what are all the files? And should I just start at the beginning? You don't have to start in the beginning. You start where you want. But here's the breakdown from the top down on what each file is and how you can utilize it, or make your own or whatever. Okay, so the first one we have is the affidavit for health and life. Now, what that one is it's a file for you to get notarized, and you're basically entering into like a UCC1 lien or contract with yourself. And then you're going to send that off to your various heads of state in any place you can think of, really. What it does is you're putting it into the public domain, that things like your child's birth certificate, your child in general, is not a corporation or a person by legal definition, not an artificial entity, and that they are yours, and that you are letting them know that there's a difference, and that you don't want them to receive any vaccinations without your consent, to be taken away from you without your consent, um, things of that nature. Okay, you're putting it out there. So if they want to um, fight you for it, then they have to fight you and let you know ahead of time that, hey, you're putting this out there. We're going to challenge that. Okay, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to challenge it, because most of these things, the way they're written, takes away the presumption. Because see, when they have your child's, birth certificate, excuse me, they see a name and then they're told to go and do this because that child is money to them. Okay, that's a found asset if they can try to take the child or whatever else away from you. So they will do that, on occasion to certain people. You know how it goes. Okay. So what this does is it puts out an official notice saying, hey, I'm declaring all this to be underneath my rule, my jurisdiction in the private, and that, if you want to challenge that, step up. If not, back off. Okay, so that's what that one is. The affidavit of U.S. nationality or declaration of status. Um, that one is you're writing up. I give you the sample, and how I've done mine. And you can also be creative with yours, but you're basically you're getting that all of these are going to get notarized. So even if I don't say it, your best bet is to get them notarized, because getting them notarized is done by the delegated power of the notary, which has delegated power of the secretary of your state. Okay, so that's like a country basically recognizing your claim, and then you send it off to the various other places so that they can see, um, that you basically have a witness to your statement, and that this is you swearing under oath, basically, that all this is fact. Okay. So that one, basically you're just telling them that you're a U.S. national state citizen, um, and I use this next term lightly, sovereign, or American. I wouldn't suggest putting those two words together, but because cops are told to look out for people who claim to be that. But in all actuality, there is, and it's called being a U.S. national. But that doesn't mean you're sailing above the law. It just means that you're declaring your right to privacy and that you're in a different jurisdiction. Okay. Um, the okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's put. Hold on 1 second. F. Okay. Sorry, this is an old letter, or from my computer. So the cop stop letter, what is that? That one is basically a number of different techniques and tricks from lawyers, things that I've personally used and whatever else. You're basically looking for imperfections to your ticket or your situation, because if any one part of it can be proven to be invalid, void, or unlawful, it voids the whole ticket. Okay, voids the situation, um, and so that's what that one's going to have in there. It's not a one-stop shop, perfect fit letter that you just send it in. Everything is wiped away. By no means. With all these things, different outcomes can transpire because there's different states, there's different judges, things of that nature, and some people are good, some people are pricks. So it just depends. But this is a good start for you also learning about these things. Some of them should be learned in advance instead of like most people message me and they want it, 10 days after they gotten their ticket. And it's like, well, if you would have bought this before and then utilized these techniques within like 3 days, like, you should know this by now if you're watching my videos. Um, sending some of those things back with UCC 1-308 on them, signed, refused, it goes a long way because it's commercial and they're under commercial laws and rules and regulations. But after the fact, the further along you go towards your ticket or your jail time or whatever it is, the harder it's going to be for you to get out of these things, because by your acquiescence, you've accepted, by you being scared or uncertain of what to do, or even getting a lawyer, the farther you go down, the further you're contracting deeper into their jurisdiction in that moment. Okay. So the next one is one I created after so many people have asked me, like, how did I get out of my situations? How do I declare um, myself a U.S. national in this situation? Like I said, results may vary, but the chief and judge letter for tickets and cases, what that one does is combines a little bit of everything. You're basically, it's saying you're willing to go forward with what's going on, but first we have to prove jurisdiction. Okay, so there's some rebuttal in there, because if they can't prove jurisdiction in the next things that we talk about in the letter, then they can't proceed. They can't go forward. You can't defend in one jurisdiction and be, uh, you know, uh, accused in another. It doesn't work that way legally. Okay. So that one goes through, I think it's like 6 or 7 pages, and it literally asks, we start there, and then it jumps into declaring yourself as a U.S. national, and then there's about 30 questions saying that if we do go this far, what type of court are we in? Um, what are, you're asking for some of their statements. You're asking for some certificates that they're supposed to have, and in there are a number of things that they do not like to be asked. It is easier for them to 9 times out of 10 drop the situation than to go forward because of what you're asking, because you're going to basically be exposing that you or them could possibly be in a different jurisdiction. You're talking about things that like are foreign, and then you're busting them out in them being a foreign corporation, which is all legal information. Look them up in the Supreme Court cases. Just type in Supreme Court cases and look through them. Type in, national or sovereign American, things of that nature, and you'll pull up most of this information. So everything I present is only for the fact that, like, you can do it for yourself. If you don't want to read through all the books, then that's why I'm here. So that's what it is. So that is a very, 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 very powerful letter. I wasn't going to put it together. Once again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving out legal advice. This is just education. This is for you to read. If you do decide to buy that particular one or any of them, you take the information in there, you do your own research, and then you'll see why these things work. Okay? But no, nobody can guarantee anybody. Even a lawyer can't guarantee you a successful case, and especially them, because uh, a court is about volleying, going back and forth. So they're paid to go back and forth. They're paid to get you a good outcome, but something where everybody kind of wins. Everybody gets a little bit of your money, everybody gets a little bit of your time. That's what it is. I'm trying to prevent you from even going, even getting there, even dealing with any of that stuff, okay? Because you may not have to. All right, so the explanatory statement, there's two. There's one that's the basic, and then there's one that's the master. The difference between the two is that, obviously, yes, price. The second one is double the page length. There's more declarations in there, and you're also going to be applying for the certificate of a non-citizen national. Okay, so if you can get them to admit on that, that's huge, because even though you've done it with the card, which is encoded in the card, this is an actual certificate, which that, if you want, you can just go to the Department of Travel's States Travel website and look it up and apply for that on your own with your normal passport, okay, application, if you've done it correctly, because you have to prove to them. And even then, they say that they don't have to issue them if they don't want to. Why? Because if you're a king or queen of your kingdom in your own jurisdiction, why do you need another king or queen or kingdom to validate your leadership, your role as this sovereign being? That'd be like you guys messaging me right now saying, "Hey, Badwolf, write up something stating that I'm the king of my house." Okay. They don't see it. Plus, when you get that, that also, you have to remember, which all this does is take away power and money from them. All right, because you guys have given it to them, so they don't want you to have it back. Duh. It'd be like you guys having your own business and having people have your employees give you power and money, and then they go, "Hey, can I have that back?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Here's your power and money. That's cool." Okay. Ta-ta. No. All right. So the family lineage and support file. This was given to me by somebody who proved to me that they had a 5-star or 5 asterisk passport card. And this talks about, it breaks down basically your family going back like 5 generations, and you're declaring that. It's a good something to add with or include into your explanatory statement. You may not need that, or you may need it. You may not need an explanatory statement. You could possibly use that instead of. I am presenting them so that you have the ability to make your choice in how far you want to take it. Okay, you can write up your own explanatory statement and include that kind of information in there, and it could be the bee's knees. Okay, so just, I'm presenting it so that you have something to be aware of, and for those people who want it, they can buy it, put it all together, or create their own, mix and match, whatever you need. Next up, negotiable instrument. I made a video on that one, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that one. Basically, that one is utilized in the payoff of direct bank instruments. Okay, it has been known to work for directly to them, not third party, not some other through other people who then send it to the bank. That almost never works, but directly to the correct person in the correct department. It has been known that this will pay off credit cards. Typically, when they're either you've trying to close them, you fell behind, and now they're coming after you for collections, things of that nature. Some people have utilized them for while they already have their credit cards and they're planning on just keeping them open, educational purposes only. It has worked for some and hasn't worked for others. Okay, it's not the one-stop shop. I will say that it has worked for somebody you guys know more than once, because I, had to see for myself. But results may vary. So next from there, revocation of election. Made a video on that. Basically, that is your way of resigning out of the IRS on the federal level because that is their fraternity and you're a member of. That application was created when you filed your 1040. Um, and this is how you remove yourself from that. Or you can stay in and adjust, tell them that you only want to contribute 5%, 1%, 20%, whatever else, because you telling them that you know what's really going on. And there is no law that states that you have to pay them. But as a member, if you pay, they expect you to continue to pay. Catch me? Um, Right to travel files. Those are pretty simple. I normally give those and some other ones away for free. It's not a big mover because a lot of people, will Google up the laws and whatever else themselves. But that contains information that I have in my binder in my vehicle, all the Supreme Court cases that back the fact that we have the right to travel as state citizens, nationals, U.S. nationals, free Americans. Okay. UCC 1 form, made a video for that. Basically, you're filing a lien against yourself with your state um, to protect your assets. Okay. And you can also include your bonds and Social Security, birth certificates, all them stuff, all that, so that if anybody wants to go after them or you, your lien has to be paid out and satisfied before they can have access to it. That's what it is. And lastly, the U.S. national property sign. You're basically letting my files and picture of what I've done, and I made a website, or I made a website, made a video on the website that provides the information where I even got it from on there. And with that, you can utilize that information to put it on your house because by law, there's what's known as implied consent, meaning they assume that your house is and you are a U.S. citizen, and so if they come in on whatever else on your property, it's because they think they can, because you don't have a sign, which legally you have to have, saying you can't. Okay, so that's what that is on there. I took what other people have, put my own little twazzle on it, and it is what it is. All the people coming by get a kick out of it, especially like delivery people. Cops kind of pass by, glance, and keep kind of going. Okay, because it basically tells them that this is a micronation. So I'm underneath my own state, which by law, if you don't live underneath your own state, then you're living underneath theirs. Okay. Information from there goes on to set up consultations, how to contact me, and then paying the $50 an hour charge for the consultation. Typically, most people only use an hour, sometimes hour and a half. If it runs over a little bit, it's not a biggie. But if we go like into past that, then you got to book for 2 hours. But most people book for 1. And then how and where to send the payments for any of the files. Once that's sent, email me. This is my name. This is what I sent the money for. Cash App or whatever, $50 for this file, $100 for that file, whatever it is, 25. And then I know it's you, and I'll send it. Usually it's within a couple hours, but if you hit me up some weird hours or during the middle of the day when I'm working, I won't get it until I'm off. So you might not get it typically within 24 hours, no matter what. Okay. And then even though there's a spot on there for donations can be just sent to my PayPal. It all goes through the same way. So you can use a special link or just my normal PayPal, which is at my jamesclovett@yahoo.com, which is the email for basically everything. If you want direct, information, consultation, then it's US National Passport at yahoo.com. So that's what it is. So unlike some of these people who are out there hiding themselves like little trolls or whatever else and little blurbs from here and there, like my information is out there because I'm keeping it real, not trying to be shady. Nothing here is illegal. It's just information that's out there that if you have a problem with it, it's because you haven't done enough research, or you've been indoctrinated to learn their ways. So I challenge you to look up the information yourself. You know what? I'll even tell you this. I didn't believe some of this stuff until I went through it or used it or until I was properly educated on it. And now I find that There are certain cops who do know about this stuff. There are federal agents who do know about this stuff. There are judges who know about this stuff. I actually had one lawyer or one judge when I was in court ask me if I was a lawyer because I got the DA to drop all the charges and everything. Okay, so it's real, but they're not going to go out and tell you because knowledge is power. Do you have it? All right, guys, that's about it. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you. I think this is one of my longer, if not the longest videos, so I apologize for that. But to be honest, so many people keep asking me about what each file is. Here's the video. Okay, so you've been told. That's about it. Talk to you later. Badwolf over and out. Check out the offers and files down below, which is what we just went through. Catch you next time. Got more videos to make.